I recently booted up Avowed and realized there's a lot of different things I did not remember from Pillars of Eternity, so I decided to go back and play through Deadfire. It's a bit of a refresher, whether or not I would complete it. I remember the game being good enough for me to play through the whole thing, but I didn't remember too much about it, other than a giant god statue cruising through a bunch of islands and blowing up everything in its path. After getting pretty far in, I started to remember just how good this game is, and I ended up playing through most of it. It's one I don't think gets enough praise, really. Both Pillars 1 and 2 are worthy of being talked about in the same conversation as the original two Baldur's Gate games. And I realize that saying that is going to make a lot of people lose their goddamn minds, but I really believe it. It's not about their place in history because clearly the first two Baldur's Gate games have a more important role in history. It's about how the games play now, the story, the themes, the characters, lore, and everything that goes into it. I want to focus a bit more on Pillars of Eternity 2, and why this game in particular is deserving of being taken out of everyone's backlogs. Pillars of Eternity 2 came out in 2018, a few years before Baldur's Gate 3 released into early access and started rewriting the book on how far you could go with CRPGs. It does things a bit different in a way that I appreciate. I think it'll hit very well for people that appreciate games with deep lore, including history and a grand manipulation of politics and that sort of thing. You spend a lot of time going back and forth between different factions, choosing who you want to back you up depending on what morals they have, what items you can earn, and whether you think they have really cool hats. And in the background are the machinations of the gods of the world, which I found to be really interesting and very interesting part of the journey. They aren't the hands-off sort of gods. They get right into the mix of things, which it makes sense considering the main antagonist of the story is a giant titan that is crashing through islands, wiping out towns and outposts. It has a unique approach to the way that the journey goes, with the main form of transportation being your ship. A ship you can customize, get crew for, and arm to the teeth with cannons. You can even upgrade to bigger and better ships as you go, though even after playing 20 hours in, I didn't find myself with the funds necessary to make big upgrades or get a new ship. The cast of characters is where the game shines the most, and not only in the player's party, but the key figures you meet throughout the world. They all have their own ideas about how things should go, and they want to use you to elevate themselves. It's fun to see where that will take you, physically and metaphysically, in the case of the gods. You can definitely see why people praise the writing in Obsidian games here, and that doesn't necessarily mean the main narrative. I think a lot of people mistake good writing as being solely praise for the main narrative. They kind of get caught on that when it can actually be the world building and everything that is built around the main storyline. There's so much to Deadfire than just straightforward narrative, which you would be missing out on if you ran straight through the game and didn't stop to appreciate the side stories and quest lines from minor characters. The main story is good enough to keep things interesting, especially with the backdrop of what it means to the main character, and the elements that pop in whenever you have a chat with this or that god. But where it might falter a bit is in the gameplay and combat. I'd call it serviceable, not a meaningful deterrent, a little above average than some other CRPGs I've played, but nothing to, make you get super excited for. I could see people that are very into D&D, or they really love real-time with pause, getting deep into the combat, but I personally turned on the turn-based mode and found it way more enjoyable. Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire is, in my opinion, a must-play for people that played other similar RPGs like Baldur's Gate, the originals, and Baldur's Gate 3. We don't always get these huge CRPGs, and to pass up one like this would be a mistake for sure. It might not be at the top of the pile, but it definitely makes a case for being among the best. For more videos on Western RPGs, JRPGs, and story-based games, subscribe. Thanks for watching.